In this video, I will show you step by step how to create another room for the 3D Dollhouse collection. In the baby room you will find a Velcro detachable milk bottle with moving beads, a play pacifier and a rattle. There is a cute picture with a fur star hanging on the wall for sensory stimulation. On the carpet there is a charming foldable bed in which a baby sleeps wrapped in a blanket. Patterns you will find in my Etsy store, so let's get started. We will need stiff felt, scissors, vanishing marker, clips, Velcro tape, hole punch, invisible foil, buttons, beads, wallpaper knife with a cutting mat, mullein, pipe cleaner, long ruler, and fur. Prepare patterns with the title base page part 1 and 2 and cut them out. Place patterns on beige felt, outline shapes with vanishing marker, then cut them out along the drawn lines. In this paper pattern, make holes in the places of dots. Place patterns on prepared elements so that they overlap, and draw dots in the places of holes. Arrange first part of the base page in this way and connect these 4 dots according to the pattern. In the place of this dot, we will make a hole at the end of our work, so remember not to sew any elements in this place. Prepare Velcro tape and Velcro pattern and cut out 11 pairs of Velcro with loop and hoop side. To prepare the base page, we will need 3 pairs of Velcro. The remaining elements we will use later. Place Velcro with a hoop side in the place of this dot and sew it along the edge. Arrange the second part of the base page in this way and sew 2 Velcros with a hoop side in the place of these 2 dots. The remaining Velcros, all with a loop side, place on the rest dots and sew them along the edge. Save this element for later. Prepare patterns with the title Baby Room Part 1 and cut out patterns to make a bottle. Place these patterns on right color of felt, outline shapes with vanishing marker, then cut them out along the drawn lines. In this paper pattern, cut out the inner shape. Place pattern on pink elements so that they overlap, and trace the inner shape with vanishing marker. Then cut it out. Place this pattern on the foil and cut out its shape. It doesn't have to be very precise. Place foil under the hole and fasten it with clips. Then sew both elements along the inside edge with pink thread. Turn this element over and cut off excess foil along the seam line. In the center of this element, place Velcro with a loop side and sew it on. The bottom thread is white. Turn this element over, place it in the middle. We will start sewing from here. Stop in this place, insert the small beads with a diameter of 1 mm, then continue sewing to the place where we started with pink thread. The bottom thread is white. Try to make all the beads fall down. Then place the last element here. There is 30 mm from the upper edge of the pink element, and sew along the edge with blue thread. The bottom thread is white. At the end, cut off excess thread along the edge of the bottle. Place bottle on the left upper part of the base page, 8 mm from the left edge, and draw the place where Velcro touches the base page. Then place Velcro with a hoop side here and sew it on. The next step, cut out the rest patterns from this page. Place patterns on right color of felt, outline shapes with vanishing marker, then cut them out. In the center of this element, place Velcro with a loop side and sew it on. Place yellow element in this way and fasten it with clips. Turn this element over, place prepared element in the center, then sew white element along the outer edge with white thread. The bottom thread is also white. Now please cut off excess thread along the edge of the white element. Prepare a pipe cleaner 14 cm long, then thread 3 beads with a diameter of 10 mm. Then cross the ends and fold the ends inwards. Place prepared elements in the center of the white element in this way. Then place blue element on top. Fasten it with clips. And sew blue element along the edge with blue thread. The bottom thread is white. On the sides, place 2 small buttons with a diameter of 6 mm and sew them by hand with white double thread. Place pacifier next to the bottle and draw the place where Velcro touches the base page. Then place Velcro with a hoop side there and sew it on. Place the last element on the upper right part of the base page. There is 4 mm from the bottom edge and 10 mm from the left edge, and sew along the edge with white thread. Next, draw a horizontal line in the middle and sew it twice on the machine with white thread. Place 2 small buttons in these places and sew them by hand with double thread. Prepare patterns with the title Baby Room Part 2 and cut out the first pattern. Place pattern on the left side of fur and cut its shape with a margin of about 1 cm. In the next step, cut out the inner shape. Place pattern on blue felt, outline outer and inner shape with vanishing marker, then cut them out along the drawn lines. Place fur under the hole and fasten it with clips. Then sew both elements along the edge of the star with blue thread. Turn this element over and cut off excess fur along the seam line. Place prepared element on the base page above the shelf and sew it along the outer edge with blue thread. Next, please cut out patterns to make a rattle. Place patterns on right color of felt, outline shapes and cut them out along the drawn lines. In the center of this element, place Velcro with a loop side and sew it on. In this paper pattern, cut out the inner shape. Place it on yellow element so that they overlap and trace the inner shape. Then cut it out. Place yellow element under the circle. There is 27 mm from the bottom edge of the pink element and fasten it with clips. Turn this element over, place it in this way, and sew pink element along the edge with pink thread. The bottom thread is also pink. Place the last element here so that its side edges touches the pink element and sew it along the edge with white thread. The bottom thread is pink. At the end, prepare small buttons, place them on white element and sew by hand with double pink thread. Next, cut off excess felt along the edge of the circle. Place rattle on the base page and draw the place where Velcro touches the base page. Then place Velcro with a hoop side and sew it on. Now please cut out the rest patterns from this page. Place patterns on yellow and white felt, outline shapes with vanishing marker, then cut them out. Place Velcro with a hoop side in the center of this element and sew it along the edge. Place yellow element in the center of the lower right part of the base page and sew it on. Arrange these two elements in this way. Place it here so that its side edge is contact with this element. We will start sewing from here to this place. At the beginning and end of sewing, sew forward and back and repeat 3 times. The upper and lower threads are wide. Next, take the second element, arrange it in this way and also place it here so that its edge is in contact with this element. Just like last time, we will start sewing from here to this place. At the beginning and end of sewing, sew forward and back and repeat 3 times. The upper and lower threads are white. Prepare patterns with the title Baby Room Part 3 and cut out patterns to make a baby doll. Place these 2 patterns on blue and beige felt, outline shapes with vanishing marker, then cut them out. Prepare piece of beige felt, place this element, and outline each shape with vanishing marker. Place blue element here and sew it along the edge with blue thread. The bottom thread is white. In this paper pattern, make holes in the places of dots. Place pattern on beige elements so that they overlap, and draw dots in the places of holes. In the places of dots, I will embroider twinkles in the eyes with French knot method with black mulling. If you prefer, you can also draw them with fabric marker. Prepare a small piece of pink felt and a hole punch. Choose the largest size and make 2 circles. Place cheeks on the sides and sew them by hand with pink thread. In the next step, I will draw a smile, then embroider it with 2 black threads on the needle. If you want, you can also draw simple hairs and embroider them in the same way with black molding. Place head here so that it lines up with the line we drew earlier, and sew it along the edge with white thread. The bottom thread is also white. At the end, cut off excess thread along the edge of the baby doll. At the end, cut out the rest 3 patterns. Place patterns on right color of felt, outline shapes with vanishing marker, then cut them out along the drawn lines. Prepare a long ruler and connect these 8 points according to the pattern. In the corners and in the center point, place velcros with a loop side and sew them along the edge. In the next step, sew on the machine along these 2 lines from here to this place and from here to this place. The upper and lower threads are white. Then sew along these two lines from here to this place and from here to this place. In the next step, prepare wallpaper knife with a cutting mat and cut out these 8 inner shapes. Place pattern on white elements so that they overlap, and trace the inner shapes with vanishing marker. Then cut them out. Next, in this paper pattern, make holes in the places of these 4 dots. Turn this element over, place the pattern on it so that they overlap, and draw dots in the places of holes. Then place the last velcros over the hoop side here and sew them on. In the next step, arrange this element in this way and place blue elements here to cover the seams. Then sew along them along the edge with blue thread. The bottom thread is white. Now please turn this element over and place the last element in the center. Then sew along the edge with pink thread. The bottom thread is white. At the end, cut along these lines from here to this place, from here to this place, from here to this place, and from here to this place. Be careful not to cut the seams. Now we can finish the base page. Prepare 2 base page elements, arrange them in this way, turn this element over, place it in the center place, and sew both elements along these lines from here to this place and from here to this place. The upper and lower threads are white. In the next stage, we will start sewing from this place 2 mm to the left from this line, then sew along this line until we reach this place, then sew along the edge to this place 2 mm to the right of this line, then sew up to this place. The upper and lower threads are white. Now please cut off excess thread along the edge of the base page. Finally, cut along this drawn line from here to this place. Be careful not to cut the seams. If you would like to combine baby room with my other 3D Dollhouse quiet book pages, prepare a hole punch, choose the largest size and make hole in the place of this dot. Then thread the shoelace, tie a bow, and it's ready. The baby room is ready. I hope you had a lot of fun making it. Please like or comment this video, I will be very grateful. If you would like to make other rooms, click on these videos. See you next time. Bye bye!